Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. In our last episode, we explored chapter 4 of Handbook of Abhidhamma Studies, the study of matter or rupa. We learned how the physical world is analyzed into the four great elements and derived forms, and how mind and matter interact. Today we arrive at the most profound chapter yet, Nibbāna. Nibbāna is the unconditioned reality. It is beyond mind and matter. It is the cessation of suffering, the ultimate goal of Buddhist practice. Now, Nibbāna is not easy to talk about. It's not something we can see, touch, or measure. It's not a place, not a heaven, not an object. It is the ending of craving, the extinguishing of the fires of greed, hatred, and delusion. In this presentation, we'll explore what Nibbāna is, how it's described in Abhidhamma, and the distinction between Nibbāna with residue and Nibbāna without residue. We'll also reflect on how understanding Nibbāna can inspire our practice. So if you've ever wondered, what is the ultimate goal of Buddhism? What does liberation mean? What is Nibbāna really like? This chapter will guide us into that mystery. In Abhidhamma, Nibbāna is defined as the unconditioned reality. All other phenomena, consciousness, mental factors, matter, are conditioned. They arise due to causes, persist briefly, and then cease. Nibbāna is different. It does not arise, it does not cease, it is not conditioned. Nibbāna is the cessation of suffering. It is the ending of craving, the extinguishing of greed, hatred, and delusion. It is described as peace, as the highest bliss, as the ultimate freedom. But these are just words pointing to something beyond ordinary experience. Importantly, Nibbāna is not annihilation. It is not nothingness. It is the cessation of suffering, the realization of the unconditioned. Why do we practice meditation, morality, and wisdom? The goal is Nibbāna. The Buddha taught that all conditioned phenomena are impermanent suffering and not self. By seeing this clearly, we let go of attachment. When attachment ceases, suffering ceases. That cessation is Nibbāna. So Nibbāna is not something we create. It is something we realize when craving ends. This is why the path is called the Noble Eightfold Path. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. These practices lead to the cessation of craving and thus to Nibbāna. The Abhidhamma distinguishes between two kinds of Nibbāna. The first is Nibbāna with residue, Saupadhisesa Nibbāna. This is the Nibbāna experienced by arahants while still alive. When someone attains arahantship, they have destroyed all defilements. Greed, hatred, and delusion are gone. They experience Nibbāna directly, but while they are alive, the body and mind continue to function. There is still consciousness, mental factors, and matter. This is the residue. So, Nibbāna with residue means the defilements are gone, suffering is ended, but the physical and mental processes continue until death. The second kind is Nibbāna without residue, Anupadisesa Nibbāna. This is the final liberation after death. When an arahant passes away, there is no rebirth. The body ceases, consciousness ceases, all conditioned phenomena cease. What remains is Nibbāna without residue. This is the complete cessation of the cycle of birth and death. It is the ultimate freedom. The Buddha described this as the highest peace, beyond all suffering. It is not a place, not a heaven, but the ending of the conditioned process. Now, how is Nibbāna experienced? It is experienced through the supramundane consciousness of the path and fruit. When someone attains stream entry, once returning, non-returning, or arahantship, they experience Nibbāna directly. This experience is described as profound peace, the cessation of craving, the realization of the unconditioned. It cannot be described fully in words. It must be realized through practice. So, How does this help us in practice? By reflecting on Nibbāna, we strengthen our motivation. We remember that the goal is not just temporary peace, not just better concentration, but the complete cessation of suffering. We can also reflect on the impermanence of all conditioned phenomena. By seeing their arising and ceasing, we incline the mind toward Nibbāna. This reflection inspires us to cultivate morality, concentration, and wisdom, the three trainings that lead to liberation. Some critics say Nibbāna is too abstract, too mysterious, but the Buddha taught that it is real, that it can be experienced, and that it is the goal of practice. Others misunderstand Nibbāna as annihilation. But it is not the destruction of a self, it is the cessation of suffering, the realization of the unconditioned. So while words cannot capture it fully, the path leads to its direct realization. So, to conclude, Chapter 5 of Handbook of Abhidhamma Studies presents Nibbāna as the unconditioned reality. We've learned that it is the cessation of suffering, the goal of practice. We've distinguished between Nibbāna with residue, experienced by arahants while alive, and Nibbāna without residue, the final liberation after death. Most importantly, we've seen how reflecting on Nibbāna can inspire our practice, reminding us of the ultimate goal. So as you go about your day, remember, all conditioned phenomena are impermanent, suffering, and not self. By letting go of craving, we move closer to Nibbāna. Thank you so much for joining me in this deep dive into Chapter 5 of Handbook of Abhidhamma Studies. We've journeyed through the definition of Nibbāna, its role as the goal of practice, and the distinction between Nibbāna with residue and without residue. We've reflected on how this inspires our practice. If you found this exploration helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who might be interested in Buddhist philosophy and meditation. In our next episode, we'll move into Chapter 6, where we explore the classification of Dhammas, the aggregates, sense bases, and elements. This will give us another framework for analyzing experience. Until then, may you be well, may you be peaceful, and may you continue your journey into wisdom.